Hello, guys. Welcome again to my channel on Knowledge Central. And here I talk about different things related to career, uh, and things related to motivation, things related to self-improvement, etc. And I've created a series where I talk about different books, and especially short summaries of the books, and try to explain it in as concise way as possible, where you can literally take up a lot of actionable insights, and you can immediately, start using that in your life. So that's the whole idea behind this. Instead of, I'm not saying you're not going to waste a lot of time reading books. If you really, have time and you really like reading the books, if you want to get, of course, a full depth understanding of the book, you need to read it. But if you are just, into just learning the actionable insights and, want some quick tips from the books, especially the national bestsellers like Influence, it's the best place to listen. And yeah, let's get going. And this book of Influence, Robert Cialdini talks about the psychology of persuasion. And of course, I really hope and I really wish everybody uses this on, for a good purpose and a good cause. And of course, you know, it shouldn't be intended otherwise. And but one of the tricks which the book also focuses on is to also identify when people are making use of us, right? When the other companies, when the marketers and salesmen outside, when they try to persuade us, what are some strategies or tactics they use so that customers are also aware, and especially we also buy a lot of things. So we shouldn't be persuaded or influenced to buy something which we might not even use. We should, of course, think whether we really need it or whether we really need this in our lives or not. So make sure that you critically analyze and take a decision. But these simple tricks would probably help you to make a good informed decisions. And as usual, I'm going to start with the favorite quote from the author, where he tells about how to exactly truly understand people is actually not by their words, but actually by their deeds and actions. So it clearly, gives an evidence of how people truly feel about you. And, it's don't exactly believe in words, but make sure that you believe in the actions and the deeds they actually do. So yeah, moving on to the key insights from the book, where he talks about 6 important components or elements of influence, and especially how to persuade uh, someone into doing something which you really like for a good purpose. Of course, I'm stressing on that again. It shouldn't be thought about as a negative psychology or used in a bad way. So yeah, let's move on. The first thing is the act of reciprocity. Simple as that. So if you want someone to act in a certain way, first we have to make sure that we are doing that from our point of view. Want to someone to be nice, first you act nice to someone, you greet them every time you go past them, and trust me, after a few instances they will also start smiling and be greeting again. And this goes in for a lot of other things in your daily life, and with your work colleagues, etc., etc. Want good, need to reciprocate that and actually do it, and then they reciprocate it, or the other way around. So this develops a massive good karma, right? And I can actually give you a personal example where during my childhood, I still remember we used to celebrate, a lot of festivals in our culture, and we make sweets during our festival. And we try to, of course, to give it to our neighbors. One day we did start doing this, and they were from a different culture, different religion, and exactly, actually in the same year they had celebrated their religion, a different date, and they ended up giving us a different sweet of the sweet which they made during their festival. And it was quite surprising. And at that time, maybe we didn't fully understand the act of reciprocity, but it's pretty clear. So it kind of also gives them a feeling that, okay, we owe something to the other person. So if you do good, you're going to get back good. So that's whole concept of karma. And it's not a lot of magic or something. It's just how human brain psychology works, right? Simple as that concept of reciprocity, right? And the second one is scarcity, and especially scarcity makes people regret or miss opportunities, so which we don't want to, right? As humans, we make sure that to use the opportunity in the right time, the right way, and have minimum regret. So whenever there's scarcity, it actually makes us to act, right? And this is a very simple baseline strategy used for all online services, or sales services like Amazon, where they sell a lot of products. So whenever you click a product, it immediately prompts a small line saying, if you order this within 24 hours, you'll be getting this by tomorrow, right? And actually we know the same thing, and if you go to the same site, same product tomorrow, it'll show you the same thing again and again and again. This just prompts that it's going to get over or something. And especially Amazon, again, I'm pointing it, of course, and it's pretty open out there. It also applies for a lot of other platforms as well, where they also show last 4 products available, 3 products available, 2. I'm not sure whether they're true or not, but simple. When there's just 2 available, you think, okay, if I come back tomorrow, it's going to disappear. Let me order it today. Click, right? Simple as that. So when you make sure that something is scarce, and especially it might be human labor talent, or it might be a physical product, or it might be someone's time. Whenever it's scarce, people want to get it as much as possible. And yeah, that's the whole concept of the psychology, to make sure that you want to get something from someone, or if you want a person to take up a habit, or just take up doing something, make sure you try to include that this is also scarce. It might disappear tomorrow, or you might not get the opportunity to see the person tomorrow, so go spend some time, etc., etc., etc. Right. Moving on to the third one is, in order to get consistency, reaching your goal, make sure that you have small commitments. And when he means by small commitments is, for example, start doing something really small. Imagine you want to build up reaching a goal of exercising every day, right? Hitting the gym, right? Start with going once a week, right? Just once a week, 15 minutes. Just hit the gym, do some treadmill, come back, right? Do it every week, next week. And then after a month, slowly start increasing the time to half an hour. Do a little bit of treadmill cardio, then take a little bit weights, just take some dumbbells, do some biceps, then come back. And then slowly start going twice a week, Sunday and Wednesday, equally gap. And then thrice a week, and then so on. So one is the exactly same thing which I did for developing the habit of cycling. Now I cycle every day for 45 minutes to 1 hour. That's because I started cycling just once a week. I did it actually in the weekends. I just fixed up my mind, okay, just weekends, just once a week, just going to take my cycle, just go around here and there, come back, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And then slowly that has evolved now currently to, making me cycle every day. So it might take a while, but small commitments and then achieving that commitment consistently actually gives you a positive, hormone trigger, and then dopamine, endorphins, and then that actually keeps you going. And then at some point, you will get the consistency. At some point, you will reach the goal. Simple as that, right? And the fourth one is to be authoritative. And this exactly helps, especially when you want to be persuasive, is you need to make sure that you're also authoritative. You have the authority. And especially that's why we respect, doctors when they suddenly walk across the waiting area. And we, sometimes get up, sometimes say hi, hello. And then, especially in authority comes from a lot of other factors as well. Like, for example, the badge, the white coat the doctors wear. And then imagine a normal person who is not wearing a white jacket. Even though if he's a doctor, I don't think we're going to respect the words he's going to say. And imagine he comes and says, okay, do this, do that, make sure that you do this. We'll be definitely shaking our heads, and we will be like, okay, of course, we're going to do it. Of course, we're going to follow what he says because he's authoritative, looks authoritative, the words. So a lot of things might, make up the word authority. Like, for example, the dress you wear, the body language, the way you speak, the eye contact, the words you use. So make sure that, to also research a little more on how to be authoritative in telling something, or when you want someone to be, persuaded. So authority is another key aspect of this way to influence someone. And next comes being likable. And I cannot, stress on this enough. So people usually follow someone who they like, right? And this is pretty clear. And especially if there is a friend who you really like, spend a whole lot of years. And when he or she says something, you would probably be having an iron tendency to accept or agree, even though sometimes you might not actually need it. Or imagine if he or she suddenly calls you, let's go for a walk, get an ice cream, can be easily persuaded. Why? Because you like them, right? You don't want to put them down, and you don't want to, you just like them, so you just believe whatever they do, it's gonna be fun, was gonna be for good. They are not gonna use you, and you trust them. So make sure that you're also likable. And this actually often comes for salespeople and marketing people. Whenever they come to your house, they are so nice, they're so down to earth, they check on you, they try to be likable. So once they create this bond, once they sometimes also they might make a joke or funny statement. Once they are more likable, they're more easy to be influenced. So something to be kept in mind. And finally is social proof, and we need to use it to our advantages. It's just about showing up with the data. And of course, you cannot forge or say something false or wrong data, but this actually social proofing helps people to believe or actually accept or start doing certain things. And especially if you write, say for example, I saw this one day where there was stairs next to a lift, and it said something in these lines where uh 85% of the people who took stairs or a lift had a higher, a better heart rate after 60. So something like that, after. So you tend to, okay, fine, let's take the stairs. It's, 85% of the people have been helped because of this. Your heart condition is good. You just get a positive vibe on that. But imagine something written like, okay, take stairs, it's healthy. Nobody's gonna, get persuaded, right? I mean, so it's like when you put something into context, 90% of the people who did this also did this, right? So that's also exactly sometimes we use in shopping sites where, 90% of the people who bought this also bought this. So I think it might be also useful for me and get persuaded. So don't fall in the trap, of course. Make sure that you do your research. But this is also another way to, make, your kids, if you want them to behave in a certain way, especially if they are much matured enough, you might need to tell some facts. You might need to tell, okay, there are, thousands of people who have done this and they're proven research. There are the scientific papers. So make sure that you put some social proof. And especially if it's within community or family, it becomes much more easier, for example. And that's why parents use a lot of comparison. Your cousin did this, your elder brother did that. And I think they're trying to use a social proof, but sometimes it doesn't work. But on a general audience, when 80 or 90% of people have already proven certain act is gonna do certain thing, you will eventually also take the act or accept or believe at the end of the day and start doing it, right? Simple as that. And that's it. Those are the 6 key factors of or at least factors which influence or or can be used to persuade people. And that's all. This is included in the psychology of persuasion. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and thanks a lot for your time once again. And yeah, feel free to comment, like and subscribe, of course, if you like my content. And let me know if you want me to, make videos on a particular aspect, a particular topic. It doesn't matter what topic, and I'll try to make sure to read a certain book, or at least try to summarize and very short summary in that book. So yeah, with that said, yeah, I'll see you soon in the next video. Until then, take care, and yeah, stay healthy.